Part 21. Arcane Age. Author, Yulin Dudu. Chapter 205. The apprentices were excited to explore along the way. What they saw and heard today really shocked their hearts. Magic is not only used for fighting and killing, but also creates great value. The feelings in Ziwei's heart are deeper. If such a beautiful building is to use artisans and manpower completely, I am afraid that thousands of people will work hard for several years. And holding the magical object left by Descartes, the stone disc of Ziwei, completed the main structure of the castle in just one day. In the continent of Orient, magic is the first productivity that deserves it. After returning to the tower, Ziwei continued to analyze the Afford Daist stone strengthening technique. This spell is not difficult for Ziwei, which has mastered the structure of the basic spell model, and will soon be thoroughly understood. In the following days, Ziwei's life was very fulfilling. Every morning, he came to the castle and used the Affodale stone strengthening technique to strengthen the stone inside and outside the castle. The strengthened castle wall was like porcelain burning. The enamel is general, with a layer of crystal clear and thin, very perfect. The color of the overall wall is reinforced into milky white, and the top of the castle dome is painted with a blue sky color. Although the use of Afford Dolce stone intensification can strengthen a large wall at a time, although Ziwei has the magic of a far more extraordinary four-ring wizard, but the red day is not yet at the top of the sky, the magic of Ziwei will warn. In the afternoon, Ziwei continued to hold the stone disc to complete the annex of the castle. On the seventh day of the return of West Virginia to Capra, the friendship number arrived. Although Natalia wants to witness the completion of this dream castle, she has been away from her parents for almost 2 months, and it is time to return. Natalia and Ziwei and Charlotte reluctantly said goodbye and returned to Ayacho with the friendship number. This time, the friendship number brought a lot of herbal and plant seeds ordered by Ziwei. The next step is to build the arcane garden. For most of the magic apprentices and middle and low-level magicians, the magical effects of all kinds of magical herbs and magical plants are almost indispensable means to strengthen their strength. The magical things are generally accessible to wealthy mages and high-level magicians. Although 11 Wei himself does not use any magic potions, it does not mean that he does not need it. On the contrary, as the college grows and apprentices increase, the demand for magical pharmacy will expand to a very large extent. If you rely on the purchase of the outside world, it is simply a bottomless pit, and there is no channel for Ziwei. Since the existence of Zero can perfectly parse and record the nature and composition of each kind of herbal medicine, as long as Ziwei can get a common magical agent, it can almost reverse its raw materials, so it is best to make magic medicine yourself. Choice. Then there must be a nursery that cultivates herbs. Ziwei once arranged to smash a large piece of land, which is the prototype of the arcane garden. The arcane garden to be built by Ziwei is not a simple nursery, but divided into different areas. Each area has its own temperature, humidity, and specific concentration of magic elements. It also needs to mix various nutrient solutions to combine magic and science. Get up and form a productive and beautiful arcane garden. And as long as Ziwei continues to advance, mastering the mystery of space magic, in the future, the entire arcane garden can be turned into a layer of the master tower, so that you do not have to worry about the safety of rare magic plants. But at the beginning of the initial experimental stage, for each kind of different herbs and magic plants, what are the characteristics, what kind of soil, temperature, humidity, luminosity is the most suitable, etc., a series of problems need to be experimented. Really there is still a long distance in mass production, so it is not necessary to be too prepared for the time being. Now there are 3 main things in the Ziwei schedule. One is to continue to strengthen one's strength, find time to communicate with Christine, and learn more about the various novelty and the Tower of the Thousand Ways. In the past few days, 11 Wei has exchanged a lot of spells with Christine. He used to exchange the elemental spells he developed. 2. Construction of Caprea Island. When the castle and the arcane garden are completed, there are docks and towns, roads on the island and the construction of the Magic Academy. The Mage Tower is its own Mage Tower. In the future, there will be a lot of magical elements inside the full-fledged Mage Tower. It is an environment for the magician to accelerate the growth of his magic, but ordinary people can hardly be in this environment. Survive. Therefore, in the future, there will be only the existence of a magician in the Master Tower of Zyway. Even a magic apprentice cannot live in it. A magic school is also necessary. The preparation of the magic popularization plan is the main point of work for a period of time in the future, but the current priority is not too high. This busy time lasted for another 2 weeks. Zyway finally used the Afford Deist stone strengthening to strengthen all the walls of the entire castle. All the ancillary buildings were completed, and the final decoration and furniture. The land that has been overturned has been planted with large herbs and magical creatures by Zyway. Zyway has also built a temporary wall around the nursery and built a caretaker's hut. Lyndon was chosen as the manager of the nursery from the High Tower apprentices. Among the high-level magic apprentices who once hosted a party to welcome Zyway and Meryl, Palin has been buried in the cemetery. Yang became the right hand of Zyway School of Management. Charlotte became the secretary of Zyway, and Fa Wei was promoted. The formal magician began to teach. Because he is humorous and able to communicate with apprentices on an equal footing, he is very popular with apprentices. Lyndon's current magic has grown to 19, not far from becoming a formal magician. He is more mature and interested in herbalist alchemy, so Zyway is very optimistic about his future role as a manager of the Arcane Garden. Only Ed, as if forgotten in the shadows, even Fabian and Lyndon are somewhat alienated from him, all day long and gloomy, a person alone. The temperature has started to drop, the leaves of the trees turn from green to yellow, and autumn is coming. On this day, Zyway completed a relief on the wall of the castle hall, and suddenly there was a beep in his mind. Zyway's face immediately showed an excited expression, and the knife in his hand instantly fell to the ground. Intelligent Core Self-Test Program started. System Self-Test. The detection is completed, the primary intelligent module is intact, the intermediate intelligent module is activated, the advanced intelligent module is damaged, the overall damage degree is 87.3%, the variant module appears, the function is unknown, the estimated maintenance plan, none. Mage Shavi, hello. I am very happy to see you again. Zero has evolved, perfect return. With this voice, a light figure slammed into Zyway's arms. Mobile version. Arcane Age. Author, Yulin Dudu. Chapter 206. Some things can only be cherished if they are lost. When Zero is always with himself, Zyway is in a state of spirituality every day, just like the warmth of the sun, shining the light to the people around him. However, during the period of Zero dormancy, a sense of loneliness was once again surrounded by Zyway. His communication with people around him was reduced, and more energy was focused on his work. 11 Wei held the Zero with both hands, so that her body stood upright in front of her. How come a 4-color pattern on the forehead? Zyway suddenly found a new change in the Zero under the magic pet form. The strength of the magic pet has always been enhanced with the promotion of the magician himself. And when Zyway really completed the 4 elements of the Heart Lake and gave birth to the 4 elements of the True Spirit, my evolution began. I am in the stars after a long sleep, I finally woke up again. Now I have my own elemental lake, which is almost a replica of Zyway's 4 elements, the heart of the lake. That is, I have separate spellcasting ability. Zero Smile tells about his evolution. This is really a celebration worth celebrating, Zyway was sincerely happy. More importantly, I have fully activated the mid-level Smart module. Both the core performance and the processing power have been greatly improved. Although the advanced Smart module has been completely destroyed, it can hardly be recovered, but in this magical world full of mystery there should be another way to go. Zero Face is proud, she can only use the primary intelligent module, she can be said that every day is tied hands and feet are generally uncomfortable, and now finally liberated their hands, can do more things that you can and can't do. Ziwei also recently transmitted knowledge about magical structure to Zero, which is undoubtedly a possible development direction. The castle has already fallen? Ziwei, your movements are still very fast, the Zero holographic scanning system was launched, and the surrounding environment has been fully envisioned, the next one will be handed over to me. Zero opened the space of his own star space, and took out a group of machines with different functions and full of scientific beauty. These machines have a general term, basic development of engineering machinery. Even if you come to a wild planet, as long as you have this set of machinery, you can complete all kinds of magical functions and build a settlement. The Zero of the intermediate intelligent module was activated to achieve this step, and soon the basic development engineering machinery began its first job. A large number of different types of wood shipped by Friendship quickly disappeared into one of the machines, being quickly disassembled and reset, and then processed into pieces of furniture that are functional and aesthetically pleasing. There is also a machine that swallows a lot of dyes and cloth, and quickly processes a beautiful and artistic carpet, curtains, bedding, tablecloths. A pair of Zero hind legs lie on top of the highest machine, two blue front paws gently wave, each piece of finished furniture floats in an instant, and then quickly and accurately placed in the right position. Gates, beds, tables, chairs, cabinets, escalators, railings. At the speed visible to the naked eye, the interior of the original empty castle was quickly filled. After 2 magic hours, Zero finally completed his work and collected the basic development engineering machinery. One person and one cat began to visit the entire castle. The style of the interior of the castle perfectly matches its appearance, highlighting a character that is dreamlikely beautiful. Outside the castle, there is a magnificent central fountain with a small bridge running water. There is a large indoor swimming pool. The whole castle is built to make a lot of pits around. Ziwei also uses the hard rock to flatten these low-lying areas. Then summon a lot of water elements. Surrounded by the vast sea, Ziwei easily filled the entire pit with purified fresh water, and an oval small lake appeared outside the wall of the new castle. The castle belonging to Ziwei finally fell. What do you want to call it? Zero asked. Purple Fort, 11 Wei has a gentle nostalgia in his eyes. This is a castle organized by a magician who has devoted a lot of youth to his time. He is also the place where he once lived and studied in a virtual world. Use this name as a commemoration. My Violet Fort, Violet Academy, Violet Tower, and Violet Island. There will be no more islands in Capra in the future, here will be Violet Island. With the completion of the Violet Fort, the construction of the entire Violet Island entered the next stage. Ziwei intends to complete the construction of the port first. It will become a small town in the planning of Ziwei, and it is also the only place in the entire Violet Island that is open to businessmen and outsiders. Once the port construction is completed, the small villages that were originally located around the mine will be completely abandoned. All residents will move to the town. The mine hole will also be filled in. The mining of arcane crystal no longer requires any manpower, and Zero mechanics can be completed. With the experience of building Violet Fort, the town will be simpler and faster, and it will take up to 10 days. As for the Violet Academy, there is still a long time to go from the next enrollment, so you don't need to worry too much. Moreover, the faculty of the Violet Academy is also seriously inadequate. If you contract all the teaching tasks yourself, then in addition to the elemental school, many courses of the magic school cannot be carried out. The education of the magic apprentice stage can also be called basic magic education, which is not a big problem. But if you want to really build a magical holy place that can stand shoulder to shoulder with the 1,000 laws, there is still a long way to go. The path of the magician is an increasingly difficult road. Most talented general magicians always have a ceiling. Once they touch this upper limit, there is no big adventure, and they can't be used for almost a lifetime. Make a breakthrough. In addition to the promotion ceremony, the promotion of the official magician has become a high success rate due to the role of magical pharmacy, the 3-ring reshaping the heart of the lake, the 5-ring insight into the world is very difficult to break through. And the magician casts every magic to inscribe the spell model in the heart of the lake, which is obviously a difficult challenge for most magicians. The higher the spell level, the more difficult the spell model is, the more difficult the spell model is, the harder it is to remember how hard the spell will fail. The consequences of the failure to cast magic are also very serious, but the magic is vainly depleted, but the magic is countering itself. So many of the most talented wizards can only perform 1 or 2 of the highest level spells. Mobile version. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Arcane Age. Author, Yulin Dudu. Chapter 207. In fact, the promotion of the magician is now similar to the promotion of the realm in various fairy tales. It depends on the opportunity and the epiphany. Such a reality makes it difficult for an arcane civilization to develop as a whole society. So how should this problem be solved? Ziwei has got the answer from the background of literary works and games in the past, that is, Magic Net. The Magic Network, which spreads the magic nets of the whole world, manages all the spells and elements, forming a standard spell position. The magician can construct a spell on the magic net as long as he can link the magic net, and the spell casting difficulty is greatly reduced. Popularization is no longer a problem. However, there is no magic goddess in the mainland of Orient, and there is no magic network. To build such a magic net, at least there must be a power above the true god. It is completely a fantasy for the current Ziwei. However, this kind of thinking is the direction of Ziwei research. Can it be like developing an app? The spell model infrastructure is similar to a programming language. A spelling model is written in a programming language to develop an app that corresponds to a spell effect. The user does not need to fully understand the spell model of each spell. Just click on it and you're done. Ziwei's brain hole opened wide and suddenly came up with a wonderful idea. If this effect can be achieved, then the biggest difficulty in casting magic can be dissipated. For most ordinary people, there is no need to learn all kinds of strange and complicated spell models that want to vomit blood. You don't need to work hard to remember, just cast the magic as required. But it is very difficult to achieve this effect. First, there must be a magic server. Even just arranging and supervising all the magical elements in one area is a huge problem, and this is not something a high-level magician can do. Then you can only simplify the problem. Can you develop an app with a spell effect? As long as the developed, packaged and completely closed spells are transmitted to each other in a spirit exchange manner, then the opponent can fully perform according to the spell model. Should it be successful? When a person constructs a spell model, the same spell is cast 10,000 times, and no two will be identical. But the smart core can do the same. Yes, Zero can do this. As long as the idea of Ziwei is open to Zero, she can fully detect it, so the Zero voice echoes in the mind of Ziwei. You can try it. 11 Wei puts the hollow god. He intends to try the simplest lighting in a zero loop spell. But Ziwei did not build a spell model, but passed the idea to Zero. Zero built a standard spell model of lighting and passed it to Ziwei. Ziwei reconstructed it according to this model, which is equivalent to copying it once, and the difficulty is greatly simplified. Then the spell model motivates the magic inside the heart of the lake and the spell is successful. This attempt was successful, but there is still a problem that needs to be solved. That is, the Zero and the West Way belong to the special existence of the soul entangled with each other, and how does Zero communicate with other people's ideas? It is necessary to know that Ziwei and Zero are unlikely to stay in Violet Island. It is likely that they will cross the plane and cannot complete the exchange of ideas. Tailing. I can build a structure similar to tailing, put the spell model I have in it, then you can communicate to each other through communication. At this moment, the scattered pearls were chained into a line, and Ziwei finally found the key to realize this idea. The next moment, a white light flashed, and the figure of Ziwei disappeared from the Violet Castle and appeared in the underground chamber of the Master Tower. Although almost all of Descartes' elemental magic books are elemental magic, there are still a few other very useful spells, such as space spells. Although Ziwei is still unable to shuttle the plane and transport over long distances, it can be transmitted freely throughout the Violet Island. Of course, the magic power of transmitting spells increases with distance, but the magic of Ziwei is vast enough to support his use. Zero has once modulated the Tower of the Master, and has obtained a lot of information about the Master Tower. But this time, Zero needs to be studied by tailing itself. In fact, the birth of magical structure is only 300 years old. This towering 100 years ago is also primitive, and its function and structure are very simple. After the full cooperation of tailing was fully open, Zero quickly grasped the mystery of building tailing. Building a similar smart machine yourself and then storing all the spell models in it is perfectly fine, but the scope of this intelligent mechanical awareness can be very small. I'm afraid it's not so practical. Zero raises new challenges. This question can go to Christine. She is the grandson of the front of the Queen de la. Ziwei made a snap how to make a tailing able to communicate with people from a distance. Christine was a little surprised. Is Ziwei, haven't you been building your dream castle recently? How could I suddenly ask this question? My castle has already been settled. I named it Ziyulton Fort, and it is too late today. I will lead you back tomorrow. Do you have a solution to this problem? Of course. This is not difficult, just add a new piece to the core of tailing's construction. It's no secret that tailing, which was produced in the last 50 years, is not a secret, so I will tell you for free. Christine really solved the confusion of Ziwei. Very good. Kristen, you have helped me a lot, I will thank you. The voice did not fall, a white light flashed, and the figure of Ziwei disappeared in front of Christine. It's really anxious. I don't know what I'm busy with, it seems like there is a big discovery. Violet Fort, a good name. It's just so beautiful when it's just a prototype. No, I can't help it, now go and have a look. Christine quickly passed to the front of Violet Fort. This is really a dreamlike and beautiful creation. It should hardly be in the world. Christine was full of stars, and the whole person was completely fascinated by this dream castle. Her footsteps are brisk, her skirts are light, and she is like an elf in the interior of the castle. Each room is furnished with a variety of furniture, each with its own functions, and the empty Violet Fort has been fully inhabited. I really want to live here for a long time. Christine finally stopped. She came to the master bedroom on the 3rd floor of the castle. Mobile version. Arcane Age. Author, Yulin Dudu. Chapter 208. The ground is a very polished wooden floor, and the whole floor is completely integrated. A golden chandelier hangs from the sky, and an arcane crystal acts as a light source, dyeing the entire room into a dreamy yellowish color. There are huge glass windows on the side walls, and you can see the white sand beach and the turquoise sea not far from the window. Whether it's a bed, table, chair, cabinet, or any piece of furniture, it's a style that looks so coordinated. Christine found the coffee pot, put it in the coffee beans, heated it slowly, and a fragrance filled the room. Drinking a cup and drinking it slowly, Christine came to the window and stared at the beautiful seascape in front of him. Ziwei, Ziwei, everything in your fog is really unpredictable. I don't know if you can help me get rid of the tragic fate that is destined to come. In the underground secret room, Ziwei naturally thinks that Christine is chanting him. He is working with Zero to make a new intelligent machine similar to Tailing. Ziwei intends to give it a very cool name, Ziwei List of Spells. The modulation of Tailing is undoubtedly an in-depth exploration of the magical structure. Most of the exchanges between Ziwei and Kristen these days are about the materials and spells of magical structure, plus Zero understanding of all mechanical nature. With Control, the sky is still not bright, a new intelligent machine perfection. No matter where it is, this machine is completely controlled by Zero, which can be said to be an avatar of Zero. In this intelligent machine, all the spells of Ziwei and Zero mastered so far have been stored, and there is no omission. If it is violently invaded, Zero can also destroy all information in the first time. But obviously these spells are not likely to be shared, and Ziwei and Zero have already established permissions. Ziwei and Zero share the highest manager privileges, and the subsequent opening of permissions will be slow and conditional. No one can get anything for nothing, and Ziwei will never arbitrarily disclose his list of spells. In fact, most people can only access a very small part of them. Just as Ziwei has previously reserved personally unique information in the identity plate issued to each apprentice and tutor, it can be perfectly linked with the Western Wire's spell list. Only 13 standard zero-ring spells are fully open, and as long as they are apprentices at Violet College, they can unconditionally acquire their spell models. Western's spell list will undoubtedly be a great invention, even if it is only in the perspective of learning magic. It is also very valuable. Because it allows a magician to cast a spell that wouldn't have been. Directly put the standard spell model into your consciousness, just need to paint it once and then you can cast it. So again and again, the difficulty of learning magic will be greatly reduced. This is also the biggest reason why Ziwei wants to develop this Western-style spell list. In the 9th magic time in the morning, the original course arrangement should be Yang's math class, but Ziwei suddenly appeared in the 5-level round hall. The apprentices who have all been seated for a moment, and burst into applause. Returning from the maritime country, Ziwei has not given the apprentices a class, which is the first time he has appeared in the 5th floor. Yang quickly took Ziwei to the podium and stood on one side. Everyone who got the news in the entire tower appeared here. They looked at Ziwei with bright eyes and looked at the principal of the entire college, looking forward to the new news he announced. I haven't given you any classes during this time, I am sorry, Ziwei slightly apologized. We are all able to see the efforts of Ziwei instructors for the safety and development of the tower. The tutor has worked hard, you don't need to apologize, there was a loud voice in the crowd. The Westway mentor has worked hard, you don't need to apologize, the entire round hall immediately sounded a uniform voice. The first one to call is Faaway. First, I want to tell you a good news, my castle, Violet Fortress officially settled. After class, you can go to Violetburg to visit freely. At noon, I will hold a castle celebration party in Violet Fort, welcome you. Everyone is here. Yay! Great! The entire 5-story round hall instantly became a sea of joy. Since more than 20 days ago, Ziwei built the main structure of the castle like a miracle in front of the apprentices. All apprentices are looking forward to the real completion of this dream castle. One day. Second, I want to tell you the second good news, I will build a beautiful town on the pier. I will also build a new magic school in the middle of the island, Violet Academy. You don't have to be in the tower again. Squeezing, we will have a beautiful and spacious campus. I will also build the entire island, turning our Violet Island into a beautiful island, turning into an above-ground paradise and a scenic spot. This time, the cheers were even louder, almost smashing the entire 6-story tower. After all, Violet Fort is the private territory of the Westway mentor. Everyone can visit once and enjoy a party. It is very good. But whether it is the town on the dock, the future Violet Academy, and the entire Violet Island, it will be the place to study and live in the future. If the Violet Academy can be as beautiful as the Violet Castle, then it is really like dreaming. Ziwei did not interrupt everyone's cheers, but smiled and waited until their excitement slowly calmed down. Finally, I want to tell you a good news. To make up for the regret that I can't always teach at the college, I will open my spell list to all the magic apprentices and magicians of the entire Violet Academy. Of course, most spells need a certain amount. Permissions can be unlocked. As long as you keep learning and working hard, I believe that you will have a more brilliant future. The voice of Ziwei fell, but the scene was a bit cold. Many apprentices didn't understand what the spell list meant. Do you have your identity plate on your body? Ziwei asked. With it? Do you not come with 5 layers? Very good. Now, with the idea and the identity plate of your own identity, can you observe a new violet logo? 11 Wei let Zero help design a very beautiful violet logo, which will be the symbol of the future violet. The apprentices nodded. Take it with your mind, all the permission settings and detailed explanations and usage guides can be seen by yourself. At present, all the Violin Academy apprentices, 13 standard zero-ring spell privileges are open to you all. High-level apprentices, formal magicians and mentors, you also have your own unique authority. These permissions are only temporary. As long as you work hard and progress, the new permissions will be improved step by step. You will learn new powerful spells. The unlocking conditions for each spell permission are very clear. Of course, in order to avoiding you so high, you can only see a list of spells one level higher than your own magician level. Mobile version. Arcane Age. Author, Yulin Dudu. Chapter 209. Zero loop spells, strong zero loop spells, 1 ring spells, 2 ring spells, 3 ring spells, 4 ring spells, 5 ring spells, which are currently 7 levels on the westward spell list. For most magic apprentices, you can only see the first 2 levels of spells. High-level magic apprentices can already see a ring of spells, and most magicians can see 2 ring spells. In addition to the Elnis Blessing series of spells hidden from them, all the spells that Ziwei has mastered are among them. The apprentice's consciousness was to communicate with the violet logo in the identity plate. It seemed to come to a small library, the fire in the fireplace was warm, and the whole room was warm. In the middle of the room is a comfortable recliner, sitting and swaying, the whole person becomes relaxed. There is a bookcase next to it. There are neat books on the first floor of the bookcase. The books on the bottom layer can be taken out. As long as it is opened, there will be a model of the standard zero-ring spell into your mind. This can be much simpler than learning the spell model on the magic book. Even books that cannot be opened for a while will indicate the name, function, and unlocking conditions of the spell. Beep, God, Charlotte's instructor's ace spell in the first apprenticeship spell contest was also in it. Unlocking conditions, all 13 standard zero-ring spells, high-level magic apprentices, 5 credits. 5 credits are required to complete 5 courses and pass the exam. But this spell is very worth it. There are 35 strong zero-ring spells. This enhanced flash can only be unlocked with 1 level of 8 standard zero-loop spells. There are only 2 credits for enhanced frozen rays. Yeah, I have already passed the basic meditation lesson and basic math courses, and I can already redeem strengthen frozen radiation, but I still can't make such a hasty decision. I have to think about it. High-level magic apprentices have gone further than these low-end apprentices. Although they have not yet become official magicians, they can see the information about a ring spell in the 3rd layer of the bookshelf. Floating. Soul Oil. Arcane Missile. Summon Magic. Second Flame Ball. Mage Armor. These spells are really powerful and fun. But the unlocking condition of a ring spell is no longer a credit and magic level, but a unique currency called Arcane Point. Arcane Point, you can now gain the ability to assign a high tower, improve existing standard spells, create new spells, and apprentice spells to win the contest. Linden's eyes lit up and quickly used the circular metal currency in the space, linking the mysterious purple light. Name, Linden Magician Level, High Level Magic Apprentice Arcane Point, 20. Brave Heart, in the face of pirate invasion, you are brave and good at fighting, repelling the enemies and rewarding the arcane point. 3rd place. In the second apprenticeship spell contest, you won the 3rd place and rewarded the arcane point. Arcane Garden Keeper, as the caretaker of the arcane garden, the monthly salary arcane point is 5. Most of the ring spells are unlocked with 10 arcane points. In other words, Linden can now choose 2 of his favorite spells to unlock from the existing 21 spells in the westward spell list. However, there are some spells that are slightly higher in price, such as Arcane Missiles. Arcane Missiles, Zaiwei's improvements to magical missile spells. The magic power has increased dramatically, unlocking conditions, 15 arcane points. Linden used to shoot an arcane missile with a magical gun and killed a pirate with his own hands. He knew the powerful killing power of this spell. And the Westway mentor was also the official magician who was promoted after learning this spell. Linden quickly paid 15 arcane points to unlock the arcane missile spell. With the sound of a key inserted into the keyhole, the dust on a lavender book in front of Linden suddenly dissipated, and the 4 characters on the spine sparkled, Arcane Missile. Linden excitedly opened this magic book, and the spell model of the arcane missile instantly appeared in front of his eyes and appeared in his mind. Linden tried to remember to cast this spell. He found that as long as he completely inscribed the spell model in his mind, this powerful ring spell was not as difficult as it was imagined. As long as you practice after many times, in accordance with the spell model that appears in your mind, you can master this spell sooner or later. Once you can cast a ring spell in the magic apprenticeship stage, then the wizard's promotion is almost completely without any difficulty. The only difference is the accumulation of water. Fawaway also quickly linked to the arcane point information. Name, Fawaway Magician Level, a Ring Magician Arcane Point, 40. Brave Heart, in the face of pirate invasion, you are brave and good at fighting to repel the enemies and reward the arcane point. Champion. In the second apprenticeship spell contest, you win the championship and reward the arcane point 20. College Intern Tutor, serving as an intern tutor at Violet College, with 10 monthly salary arcane points. Fawaway has been able to see the information of the entire 24-second loop spells. The arcane points required for the second loop spells are 30. Fawaway knows that he has just been promoted to a magician. Now it is difficult to learn the second ring spell. So he turned his attention back to a ring of spells. He quickly selected and unlocked the arcane missile. And summoning the magic pet, these 2 loops require 15 arcane points, obviously stronger than the average one. Zaiwei has completed the completion of the summon magic spell, and wants to complete the magic summoning ceremony and prepare a bottle of soul calming pharmacy, which can minimize the danger of the magic pet summoning ceremony. The exchange office need arcane point, 10. So Fawaway immediately squandered his 40 arcane points, but his mood was so good. Although Fawaway has been promoted to become a ring magician, Yang did not teach Fawaway even a 1-ring spell, because all the loops and spells that Yang knew were from Zaiwei, before they were confirmed by Zaiwei. He didn't dare to pass these spells out at will. At this moment, Fawaway suddenly noticed that the arcane point does not seem to be used only to unlock the spells in the Western spell list. Magic Meditation, the remedy required for the wizard's promotion ceremony, the price, arcane point 10. Fawaway was able to drink a full 3 bottles of magic scouring agent when he was promoted to the official magician. He secretly swears, this can be a big deal. Mobile version. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Arcane Age. Author, Yulin Du. Chapter 210. In the future, apprentices will be able to win the apprenticeship to fight the championship, otherwise they will have to complete the various tasks assigned by the college if they want to redeem the magical pharmacy to promote the magician. As an internship tutor at the Violet Academy, I only have 10 arcane points per month, and the arcane point of the apprentice mission reward is definitely a single digit. At this moment, Fawaway suddenly noticed that there was information about the meditation on the side of the bookshelf. The full version of the Chaoshan meditation, apprentices with high affinity for water can try to greatly increase the speed of magic growth and the upper limit of magic, up to 3 times. Redemption requirements, Arcane Point 10. 50% discount after the deadline, restore the original price 20 after 90 days. Here are the full versions of the other 4 elements of the meditation. Although Fawaway is very fat, but the wind element is the most intimate, he always wants to get the full version of the wind element meditation. But 40 arcane points have been spent by themselves. FAA slap in the thigh, I know that I don't want to unlock the arcane missile spell. This is still a 50% discount. After 90 days, the original price of 20 arcane points will be restored. If you pay your salary next month, you will immediately exchange the full version of the wind element. Unlike the apprentices and new magicians who saw the eye-catching experience, as the vice president of the Violet Academy, the left and right hand of Ziwei, Yang, he slowly activated his purple instructor nameplate and entered it. Name, Yang Magician. Rank, 2nd Ring Magician. Arcane Point, 1230. Runner-up. In the first apprenticeship spell contest, you won the runner-up and rewarded the arcane point. Braveheart, in the face of pirate invasion, you lead everyone to be heroic and good at fighting, repelling the enemies and rewarding the arcane point. Associate Dean of the College, serving as the Associate Dean of the Violet College, with 200 monthly salary arcane points. Member of the Order of the Phoenix, as a member of the Order of the Phoenix, participated in the crusade against the evil teacher Gatlin, you get an extra 1000 points of the arcane, which is a reward for courage and skill. Arcanist Seed, as a sorcerer's seed identified by the Westward Instructor, the Sci-fi instructor unlocks the special privilege for you alone. Looking at the reward of this article, Yang's heart was warmed up a lot. Clicking on the special permission to unlock has been completed. Yang, who is not so mature and stable on weekdays, can no longer be calm. Earth Fire Feng Shui 4 elements of the heart of the lake, Westway Mentor's unique meditation door, unlock conditions, arcane point 10,000, Ziwei's trust. Come on, Yang, I am optimistic about you. A piece of encouraging words was introduced into Yang's consciousness space. Yang realized the great value of this meditation door in the first time after seeing the description of the 4 elements of the fire Feng Shui element. This is enough to make the powerful and extraordinary wizards break the head of the super meditation idea. Compared to the astronomical number of 10,000 arcane points, the trust of the Westway Mentor is the key to the key. Yang Momo wrote down the information of this door of thought, and there was a huge touch and power in his heart. June will treat me with the king, I will report it to the king. This is a Chinese proverb, and it is also the promise of Yang Xinzong. In the virtual scene simulated by Silver's spell list, almost everyone's emotions can be felt in the West. At this moment, Yang's sentiment made Ziwei recall the old days of a few months ago. At that time, I had just come to this world, and the role of Zero was still very small, and I was facing the life threat of the evil teacher Gatlin. Then the time passed so quickly, in the twinkling of an eye. 11 Wayside, and a new message appeared in the Western Wisdom list. Old days, old friends, this is a testimony to a friendship. Arcane Point, 50. Fawaway, Linden, Ida, and the first friend of Ziwei, Gaith, have received this gift. This is the last gift of Ziwei to them, and will be treated equally in the future. Whether Linden, Fawaway, or Ed, who has been promoted to become a high-level magic apprentice, is very happy, which proves that although the Zaiwei tutor is already strong enough to throw away himself and others, he still remembers let's live together and play the old days. Far away is the first time to exchange the wind element meditation door. This is really an unexpected joy. Ed in the corner has only 12 arcane points from the battle against pirates and the first apprentice spell against the quarterfinals. But at this moment, the appearance of the old days made the ice in his heart melt a lot. Zaiwei, you really can't hate it? You have already opened us a lot of positions, and I should go out from this shadow experience. I believe I can do better. Charlotte also entered the space of the violet logo. Name, Charlotte Magician Level, a Ring Magician Arcane Point, 2140. Champion. In the first apprentice spell contest, you won the championship and rewarded the Arcane Point. Braveheart, in the face of pirate invasion, you lead everyone to be heroic and good at fighting, repelling the enemies and rewarding the Arcane Point. Assistant Principal, as the Assistant Principal of the Violet Academy, 100 monthly salary Arcane Points. Member of the Order of the Phoenix, as a member of the Order of the Phoenix, participated in the crusade against the evil teacher Gatlin, you get an extra 1000 points of the Arcane, which is a reward for courage and skill. This is beauty, your beauty is thrilling, girl. The joy from Zaiwei rewards the Arcane Point 1000. The basic Arcane Point required for the 3-ring spell redemption is 100, and the 4-ring spells rise to 300 points. At present, the highest level of 5-ring spells in the entire West-West spell list is 1000 points. And Charlotte's 2140 Arcane Point is enough for her to redeem all the 1st and 2nd ring spells in the entire Westway spell list and most of the 3-ring spells. Seeing the last Phoenix members, and this is the beauty, Charlotte's face showed a happy smile. Especially the last one, Charlotte firmly believes that this is his own unique reward. As long as you are unique in his heart, that is enough. The hard work of these days is all worth it. Charlotte was not in a hurry to unlock the spell. She decided to find a time to ask about Zaiwei. He would definitely be the best and most suitable choice for himself. It can be said that the list of spells in Zaiwei is an important attempt by Zaiwei. Obviously, this attempt was successful. From then on, all of the Violet Academy apprentices will be able to link to the Western Wisdom List Spirit directly through the Violet insignia on the identity plate to complete the tasks assigned by the various colleges to gain arcane points and unlock spells. Zero powerful computing power coordinates all this, so that each apprentice can get the arcane point not too fast, not too slow, and can keep moving forward. Mobile version. Arcane Age. Author, Yulin Dudu. Chapter 211. This kind of game-like experience is far more efficient than lesson-based teaching. In the future, the Violin Academy course on spells will focus on spell improvement, spell principles, and spells, instead of wasting a lot of time on standard spells. Teach it. The existence of Zaiwei's spell list is equivalent to a server, which stores all the information and is also responsible for the spiritual link between the apprentice and the tutor. This is just the initial experimental version, and later you can add more features to it. For example, virtual labs, virtual spell battle simulations, and more. As long as there is creativity, as long as there is the ability to achieve creativity, then magic can do anything. The mystery of magic goes far beyond the scope of normal social productivity, which is the confidence of Zaiwei. Today's course is over soon. Although Zaiwei only talked for a few minutes today, the good news brought to you is like a wave of one after another, almost everyone is beaten. On the way to Violetberg, many apprentices are still having a savvy discussion. The conditions and benefits of the step-by-step promotion are still vague. The boring meditation, mathematics, and spell theory make these young children very tired. But now the powerful and mysterious spells in the Silver's spell list are like the peerless beauty in the veil, showing a powerful temptation, so that everyone's heart is pounced, and I can't wait to quickly all the spells are unlocked and immediately become a powerful magician like the Sci-fi instructor. This is like a carrot in front of a stick, and it mobilizes the enthusiasm of all apprentices. After the apprentices came to the Violet Fort, they made a wow sound. It's just that the prototype of the Violet Fort has a great charm and a strong sense of beauty. The truly complete Violet Fortress is really fantastic and beautiful, and should hardly exist in the world. The pace of the apprentices slowed down, and they felt that their original neat clothes and shoes were also dirty, and stepping in was a kind of awkwardness. Yang's hands blew a magical breeze and enveloped everyone in it. After a while, the comfortable and refreshing breeze dissipated, and everyone's hair, face, clothes, and shoes were completely renewed. This is an enhanced version of a ring of cleansing, a two-ring spell, group cleansing. The apprentices lined up in a neat queue, followed by Yang's visit to the Violet Fort. Look, that is the central fountain, how beautiful the sculpture, the clear spring water slowly flows out from the bottle of the graceful and noble goddess, and the beauty of art is vividly displayed. Lista, a nobleman, is a luxurious set. Clothing, hair care is also very serious, the whole person's temperament is also very prominent, is the ideal lover in the hearts of many female apprentices. This is a high lookout, and the guards patrol the road. Wow, look, the sea is far away, and the white beach. I can't wait to go to the beach right away. Several apprentices climbed high. The high wall overlooks the beauty of the Violet Fort on the walled path. Wow, there is a huge pool here. What is it for? Is it so beautiful? Stupid, this is the swimming pool. It's a pleasure to swim in the pool for a while in the summer, that's a treat. The whole castle is a huge garden. I really hope that our Violet Academy will be so beautiful in the future. I would rather study here for a lifetime. In the future, let my wife and my descendants live in the port town. I want to be beautiful. Just like you, still want to find a wife? Ha ha ha. Cut, I am a magic apprentice. You don't want to look down on me. I will definitely study hard and become a powerful magician in the future. The magician can become a nobleman at any time. I can find a noble and temperamental wife. After entering the main fort of the Violet Fort, the apprentices were completely shocked by the luxurious and beautiful decoration. At this moment, the strong aroma came from the nose, and people could not help but leave a mouthful of saliva. What smell? So fragrant. How have you never smelled it? After coming to this world for so long, Zai has always been tempted to eat because the ingredients and cooking methods here are too crude. At the inauguration ceremony of the Violet Fort, Zai hopes to reveal his hand and really shock the buns. In fact, the real chef is Zero. With the help of a large number of intelligent machinery, she completed the work of a whole team of chefs, cooking a variety of delicious food for nearly 100 people. On the first floor of the Violet Berg, there is a table in the hall, and each table has a hard card. The apprentices find their seats in the name of the cards. Zai once again appeared in front of everyone. He nodded lightly and suddenly came a huge wooden barrel from the kitchen, as if a stealth waiter was manipulating the general barrel stopper was opened. In the glass in front of everyone it is full of grape red wine. Let's have a drink and start today's feast, servant sang, drinking a glass of wine. Thank you for the feast given by Zaiwei's mentor. Yang first stood up and took the lead to drink the wine. Thank you for the feast given by the Zaiwei tutor. All the tutors and apprentices stood up, and both men and women drank a full glass of wine in the same breath. It's delicious, the taste of this wine is so good, it's far better than any of Ayacho's pubs and chambers. This wine can only be compared to the wines in the rare wines of the great aristocrats in the southwest of France. The value of a bottle is calculated in gold coins. The strange thing is that no matter how you drink, the wine in the glass will never be finished, and will always return to the original 3/4 of the cup. The next feast was an unforgettable experience for all apprentices, and the foods that had never been seen before and that had never been eaten appeared in the plates in front of everyone. The carefully prepared food stimulates the taste buds, allowing each of them to completely release their belly and eat more food than normal. At the end, Tom Deebs cried. Lucy Marty, who is not far away, looks disgusted. There is such a fiancé, it is a dead man. I will never marry him. How are you crying, Tom? Asked Fernandez, who was sitting next to Tom. Having eaten the feast of the Westway mentor, how can you swallow the usual meals in the future? I am going to starve. Tom shed tears. Everyone looked at Tom's round, fat figure, and he was speechless. If you can starve to death, we must have died in front of you. Mobile version. Arcane Age. Author, Yulin Dudu. Chapter 212. Broadcast. Pay attention to the starting point reading, get the first-hand news of the 515 red envelope, and the students who have not robbed the red envelope after the Chinese New Year, this time can show their skills. After hearing the complaint from Tom, Ziwei smiled. Tom, in order to prevent you from being starved to death, I will send you a small gift, I hope you can like it. Finished, a huge bread appeared in the hands of Tom. This bread has delicious fluffy pine and white cream, and the soft, crispy cooking is very tempting. Tom stunned and bite up without saying anything. The strange thing is that no matter how you eat it, the bread will always return to its original appearance. I can't finish it forever. All the apprentices were stunned and watched what had just happened. I didn't expect Tom to cry like a live treasure and actually got such a big deal. Finally, after the bread had once again restored its original appearance, Fernandez couldn't help but whispered, Tom, don't you mind if I tear a piece and taste it? Tom's mouth was filled with delicious food. He nodded and continued to swallow. Fernandez tore a small piece of creamy fluffy bread and slowly stuffed it into his mouth. Good smell. Delicious. This taste is very real, and my stomach is full, this bread is real. Looking at the original bread again, a curious apprentice gathered around and tasted one by one. Tom has a brilliant smile on his face, and he has never received the attention of so many people. Really, laughing like an idiot. No, he was an idiot. Lucy Marty finally couldn't help herself, she stood up and walked to Tom's side. Many people know the marriage contract between Lucy Marty and Tom Deebs, knowing that Lucy Marty is a young and lively little beauty, plus her aristocratic identity, so many male apprentices dream the object of one time is her. This is really a flower inserted in the cow dung. Lucy grabbed the creamy fluffy bread from Tom. Tom looked at Lucy dumbly. After coming to the college, Lucy was almost hiding from him. This was the first time she was standing next to her. Lucy put the bread on the clean plate in front of him, cut the bread into pieces with the same unused knife, and distributed it to each apprentice who came forward. No matter how cut, the bread is still restored. This is amazing. Ziwei saw the scene and smiled silently. Whether it is endless bread or endless wine glass, it is a small achievement of Ziwei's exploration of space magic. These wines and breads are not made out of magic, but in reality. But through the role of space spells, the wine and bread in the kitchen can always appear in the banquet hall. As long as Tom does not leave the island of Violet, then this bread can be said to be endless bread. The banquet continued until the afternoon. When everyone put down the knife and fork in their hands, 11 waved his hand, and the invisible wind rolled up all the cutlery and food and flew into the kitchen. A large number of apprentices were able to walk almost without moving, and slowly swayed back to the tower. Many apprentices are still discussing the news about Western Way's spell list for the middle and low-level apprentices. Immediately master the 13 standard zero-loop spells, and quickly complete the course to get credits to master the strong zero-ring spells. A very clear goal. Those who have been promoted to high-level magic apprentices and formal magicians have turned their attention to how to get the arcane point. Improving standard spells and offering new spells is obviously too difficult for ordinary apprentices, so apprenticeships against the contest and the college's missions are the best way to get an arcane point. At present, the task system has not been opened, and many apprentices are very sorry. What they don't know is that the various fancy tasks that appear in the mission system in the future make these apprentices busy and exhausted, and there is no such a leisurely time. Since it is not intended to immediately attack high-level magicians, but to focus more on learning the spells of other schools, the strength of Zaiwei itself has temporarily entered the track of slow development after awakening the pure spirit. But in addition to the elemental magic, 11 Wei's understanding of the spells of other schools is very shallow. The only thing that can systematically learn is the inheritance of the necromancer spells obtained from Thomas's soul. Necromancer is a spell that manipulates negative energy. It is inevitable to deal with corpses, souls, and ghosts. These are the same as the shackles of life and gods. Therefore, they are classified as the filth of the world by the Church of the Glorious Lord. The development of the necromancer spells, which were completely attacked by the Church of the Glorious Lord, fell into stagnation or even retreat, but when the three legendary powers established the capital of the dead in the position of the bones, the necromancer spells finally renewed vitality. Negative energy, different from the four basic elements of geothermal feng shui, is not used for light and shadow energy. This is a special kind of energy. Its existence allows the deceased to continue to preserve his soul and consciousness in violation of natural laws. In order to obtain negative energy, you must intercept the instantaneous changes through the mysterious magic ritual at the moment of the soul's demise, and incorporate negative energy into the heart lake. The negative energy heart lake is completely exclusive. Once you walk into the path of the necromancer, it is almost impossible to form another heart lake, only to specialize in necromancer spells. And if you want to go further on the road of necromancer, you must be with the deceased, the scorpion, the zombie, and become the underground mouse that the Supreme Lord Church severely attacks, and it is almost impossible to live in the light again. Therefore, Zaiwei will never change the necromancer spell. During this time, he carefully retrieved the information about the necromancer spells obtained from Thomas's soul, and he has stronger protection by increasing the understanding of necromancer spells. Among them, Zaiwei found a valuable magic ceremony. Death sacrifice ceremony. Experience the feeling of death by simulating the severance of life, awakening special ability on the edge of life and death, being more sensitive to soul fluctuations and enhancing one's mental strength. This is a very challenging spell for the necromancer, and often the necromancer does not wake up after performing this magical ritual. The mental strength of Zaiwei is much higher than that of the normal four-ring master, but it is not high enough. It is not his magic power that restricts the ability of 11 Wei to cast spells, but his mental power is limited. For the means to enhance his mental strength, Zaiwei is willing to try. Moreover, there is zero existence, and it is always possible to pull Zaiwei back from the edge of life and death. This is like a bungee tied with a rope. It seems dangerous, but there is no real-life danger. 11 Wei began to analyze the necromancer spells. Without the negative energy, he could not cast these spells, but it did not prevent him from learning these spells. P.S. Chasing more children's shoes, free appreciation of the ticket and the starting point of the coin. There is no A515 red envelope list countdown. I came to pull a ticket, seeking overweight and appreciation tickets, and finally rushed. Mobile version. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Arcane Age. Author, Yulin Dudu. Chapter 213. Broadcast. Pay attention to the starting point reading, get the first-hand news of the 515 red envelope, and the students who have not robbed the red envelope after the Chinese New Year, this time can show their skills. The best time for the death ceremony is to intervene in the day and night, that is, dusk and early morning. The whole ceremony is also activated by a magical array to sacrifice the flesh and blood of a powerful life that has died. In order to avoid interruptions, Ziwei appeared in the underground secret room at dusk. The death of the magic array is perfectly burned, and Ziwei puts a group of flesh and blood into the center of the magic array. This is the flesh and blood of the North Sea town guardian Kulil, a 7th order magical creature, already very powerful. 11 Wei faded his body clothes and calmly lay on the clean and cold floor. Kulil's flesh and blood slowly dissipated in the magical array, and the entire magical array shone with a green glow, like a nightly fire. Ziwei calmed down and began to block his breathing, and the heart's beating slowed down. The green light shrouded in Ziwei, and his whole body's blood stopped flowing in an instant, and his skin became pale and pale. Ziwei's breathing stopped. Gradually, the heart of Ziwei also stopped beating. The body slowly cooled down like a real body. At this time, the soul of Ziwei has already withdrawn from the body, and under the envelope of the green fire of the death ceremony, it has broken through layers of obstacles, as if to come to a vast and infinite dark river. Countless souls roll and fall in it. This endless river runs through the entire plain, and is the destination of all the dead. This is the endless river. The negative energy brought by the flesh and blood sacrifice of the 7th order magical creature Kulil is so abundant that the soul of Ziwei directly wraps through the obstacles and faces the entire endless river. This is a very rare opportunity, but it is also a challenge of 9 deaths. If the soul of Ziwei dares to enter the endless river of meditation and successfully walks out, then the purity of his soul will be greatly improved, and his spiritual strength will skyrocket. But the bigger possibility is that the soul is completely integrated into the endless river of sorrow and is attributed to death. With zero control of the hook, you can always pull the soul of Ziwei into reality. However, once Ziwei enters the endless river, the hook will not play any role. Standing on the shore of the endless river of silence, the soul of Ziwei is immersed in contemplation, which is a difficult choice. Death memorial ceremony. Each person has only one chance, regardless of success. The next time you want to see the endless river, you can either make your own legend or you will die. I have a foundation now, and my future is bright. It doesn't seem to be so risky. But a 4-ring, even a 5-ring wizard can't shoulder the burden of the times. The ambition of my heart has exceeded the ideal of the legendary wizard. When the wheels of time roll forward, you must hold the heart of the ice, and do the things that are brave and daring, so that you can make the tide of the times. Firmly convinced, retreat and fear dissipated from the soul, Ziwei stepped firmly, and stepped into the endless river of silence in the package of green and wildfire. The soul entered the river, despite the green fire, but 11 Wei still felt a chill of the soul that touched the soul. It seems as if the whole soul is frozen into a piece of ice, and all the thoughts are stagnant. If you can't get through the chill of the frozen soul, then death is the only ending. At the time of life and death, Ziwei's heart gave birth to a fearless and heroic feeling. 35 years, Xingai roamed, and I saw a lot of strange alien civilizations, millions of light years, countless stars, leaving a lot of precious planet coordinates. Once upon a time, the great explorer Lin 11, even in the 35th century AD, was the undisputed top talent of the 300 billion human beings. Think of the endless river as a long sea of stars. I will walk calmly. The bamboo stick man's shoes are lighter than the horses, who are afraid, a smog of rain and rain. Day wears its own heavens, and its land is yellow. There are 8 ages in the world. Our journey is the sea of stars. With the soul of these heroic words that have been passed down through the ages, the whole soul of Ziwei has become hot, and the surface of the soul has risen with golden light. It shines in the endless river of indifference, far away like a starry sky. A lonely star. With a fearless heart, become a great hero. When I came to this world, Ziwei once hesitated, once had a shackle, but never broke off his own pursuits and dreams. What is the difference between living and salted fish without a dream? For those who are busy chasing for the benefit, the fly camp for a lifetime, the soul is bleak and ugly, and it can only be silenced in this mighty endless river. Only the fearless warriors who are firm in their conviction can resist the attraction and assimilation of the endless river of meditation. The impurities in the soul of Zaiwei turned into black spots in the golden light of the blazing fire, and drifted into the endless river of silence. The green fires on the surface of the Zaiwei soul have long since dissipated, but the golden light has perfectly protected the soul of Zaiwei. In the endless river of silence, long songs can be expressed in words. Irrelevant power, irrelevant level. Among the civilians, there are also generous deaths to the dead. Legendary strong also have a fear of death. I don't know how long it took, the golden flame around the soul of Zaiwei seems to have burned to the extreme, and the whole soul sublimates with a brilliant diamond that shines like a star. If there is a demon in the abyss to see this scene, even a powerful abyss king will give birth to a heart. Because this is the top soul of the soul diamond, Dream Star Soul Treasure Drill. Even with so many souls and lives in a multifaceted plane, this soul is more rare than the number of legendary powerhouses. Such a soul can already cross the endless river without any danger of silence. After a long night, the time of the main plane of the Orient continent finally came to the red sun. Despite being in the dark underground secret room, at the dawn of the morning, Zaiwei has stopped beating all night and the heart suddenly recovered a powerful beat. Already anxious to the ultimate zero has finally stopped the endless embarrassment. In the moment when Zaiwei stepped into the endless river of silence, the soul connection between Zero and Zaiwei was completely cut off. The blood of Zaiwei began to flow, the body temperature rose, the skin color turned red, and life revived from the body of Zaiwei. 11 Wei finally came to life from the edge of life and death. When the soul returned, Zaiwei opened his eyes. For a moment, the blue eyes flashed a fascinating dreamy light, and then the dreamy light dissipated. Hey! Zaiwei, your eyes are just like the temptation of the succubus queen. If a girl sees it, I am afraid I will fall in love with you unconditionally. P.S. Chasing more children's shoes, free appreciation of the ticket and the starting point of the coin. There is no A515 red envelope list countdown. I came to pull a ticket, seeking overweight and appreciation tickets, and finally rushed. Mobile version. Arcane Age. Author, Yulin Dudu. Chapter 214. Broadcast. Pay attention to the starting point reading, get the first-hand news of the 515 red envelope, and the students who have not robbed the red envelope after the Chinese New Year, this time can show their skills. Zaiwei stood up and took the zero body into his arms and gently rubbed the four-color pattern on her forehead. Sorry, I am worried. I have something to worry about. If you die, I will be completely liberated. Never have to be oppressed again. Zero cocked his head. 11 Wei is just a bright smile, no more words. The flaw between him and Zero is so deep, no longer separate from each other. The harvest of the death ceremony was much larger than what Zaiwei expected. At first, he did not expect to be able to face the endless river, but did not even think that in the endless river of silence, the soul was sublimated into a star treasure. Now if you encounter Thomas's soul invasion, you can say that in an instant, Zaiwei can completely crush Thomas's soul. It is completely out of one level. Not only that, but the vast majority of spiritual magic, Zaiwei has been fully immune. And in terms of insight into the realities of the world, it has taken another big step. Take a leisurely stroll in the endless river of silence. Is this what the Four-Ring Master can do? This is the Soul Mother River that all life will eventually look back through all the farthing planes. Zaiwei feels that his soul has no shackles, and completely integrates with this body. The original incompatibility between the soul and the body disappears, and the last hidden danger is eliminated. If Zaiwei opens the ceremony of the promotion of the magician at this time, there is almost no difficulty in promotion. But there is still a voice in my heart that makes Zaiwei temporarily suppress this impulse. Not enough, not enough. The endless journey of the river, let Zaiwei give more interest to the entire multifaceted plane. However, Ziwei's current understanding of the main material plane is still very shallow. Is the world of Orient a star? What is the connection between the multidimensional planes? What is the overall shape? Is Silver Moon a satellite or something? Next, Ziwei wants to build a stargazing station. The ultra-long-distance and high-precision telescope is not difficult to awaken the zero of the intermediate intelligent module. Ziwei wants to know the world more deeply through the star-watching platform. Ziwei appeared on the 6th floor of the tower. The first one to see was the silver-haired beauty Christine. Christine had a polite smile and was about to speak, but the whole body suddenly settled. In her eyes, with an incredible look, staring at Ziwei, it took a long time to open. Your soul is sublimated. Ziwei shines through the mirror. Although he is already handsome and extraordinary, he is still in the mortal category. But after the soul is sublimated, the whole person's temperament is completely different, just like the rock on the surface of Hessian is polished and cleaned. Lian Chenyuxi can no longer hide. This is a period of time that must be experienced. After about a week, Ziwei is able to take the light of the soul and restore the original dullness. Yes. Last night, I used the flesh and blood of Kulil to hold a death ceremony. The soul entered the endless river of sorrow and sublimated in it. It just woke up this morning, Ziwei did not hide. Death sacrifice ceremony. Endless river? You are crazy, Ziwei. You are still just a mid-level mage, and dare to enter the endless river. That is the taboo land that magic masters dare not step into. Christine, I can hardly believe. What is even more amazing is that you not only come back from the endless river of the river, but the soul has also been sublimated. Christine is not a vulgar magician. She has a magician as a mentor and a legendary magician as a mentor to the mentor, so she knows the secrets of many magic masters. The conditions required to be promoted to the legendary magician are rigorous and complex, and one of them is to sublimate the soul into the endless river of silence, so that the original impurities can be washed away. Many magic masters dare not step into the endless river, because there are already many incomparable and powerful magic master souls who have entered and never returned. This is a formidable challenge to promote the legendary magician. However, I did not expect that Ziwei, who is only a middle-level mage, was so daring, and went through the death ceremony of the super special sacrifice to the endless river, and did not hesitate to walk into it. This is not a life of 9 deaths. It is hard to have a lifetime for 10,000 people to enter. At least Christine knows that if he steps into the endless river, he can never come out. You are really a person who shines all over the body. The more Christine knows about Ziwei, the more he is amazed and admired. The Golden Emperor apprentice was promoted to the official magician in less than a month, and passed the ancient and harsh way of engraving the spell in the soul. A ring magician dares to challenge the 3-ring magician who is associated with the Abyss Demon, and wins a great victory. The 3-ring magician dared to enter the deep sea plane with himself and others, and laughed to the end. Ziwei has never failed. He always makes the impossible possible. This brilliant record has made countless people worship him, follow him, believe in him. This is the unique personality charm. Christine's white teeth bite on the lips of cherry red. She is somewhat shaken. I don't know if Ziwei in front is the one who can help himself escape from the endless nightmare. What's wrong? What do you want to say? Christine kept staring at himself but didn't speak, and Siv asked curiously. Nothing. Ziwei, you are far better than I thought. Christine still did not speak. She responded calmly. Ziwei, who has mastered the emotional magic, has a keen insight into the entanglement and hesitation of Christine's heart, but he does not know that there is no opening. The relationship between the two sides has not been close enough, and there is not enough understanding. At present, Christine does not reveal the meaning of going, which is enough. Ziwei believes that only enough time will get along, and Christine will one day say his confusion. On that day, it was when Christine was recruited to join the Violet Academy. In the days that followed, Christine suddenly became a lot more generous. When he exchanged spells with Ziwei, he almost sold half a half, giving Ziwei a lot of spells and rare magic books, making Ziwei a deeper understanding of the situation and spells of the Orient continent and the Thousand Towers. 10 days later, the harbor town was completed. Ziwei manipulated the earth element giants to excavate the reefs and silt under the sea surface, and expanded the deep and wide waterway for future shipping. Although it is nominally a small town, it is divided into a dock area, a commercial area, a garden area, a residential area, and a municipal area in the planning of Ziwei. It can be said that it is already a prototype of a standard city, and only needs to wait for future development. P.S. Chasing more children's shoes, free appreciation of the ticket and the starting point of the coin. There is no A515 red envelope list countdown. I came to pull a ticket, seeking overweight and appreciation tickets, and finally rushed. Mobile version.